excited because I grew up living with my grandmother, and if you just carry a basket and go to the water side and put that basket in the river, sprinkle a bit of gari inside the basket, you don't need to throw a net. You will see a lot of fishes coming in. So we were so blessed. Our natural environment was so blessed. And anytime she's paddling, with a canoe to take me to a nearby fishing settlement, you see the sound of the birds in the air. But all of these are no more. Mangrove forests have changed from green to gray. Most of the leaves are dead as a result of the fact that those involved, they engaged in the illegal refining process, do not know how to, dispose the waste products. I will not entirely put it on them. Also, there are natural oil spillages that occur as a result of old pipelines, that have been, or gas pipelines, oil pipelines and gas pipelines in host communities. So all of these together is contributing to the soothing problem we have in Port Harcourt and its surrounding environment.
Okay, talking about the oil bunkering and the illegal oil trade. Recently, news got to us that the government offered to pay, or allegedly is going to pay, a certain gentleman who is an ex-militant, a gentleman known as Tompolo, 4 billion naira monthly, so as to be able to protect the creeks from oil thieves. In your opinion, since River State is right smack dab in the middle of the entire oil segment of the country, what is your take on that? And let me hear first, and then I'll ask my next question.
Okay, first, I must let you know that I am also the vice chairman of the Joint Council. I must commend the action. I'm vice chairman of the Joint Council, Abuja and Northern Nigeria. So I must commend the action of the federal government because they have realized that it's important to use host communities to secure the oil facilities because they are closer to these facilities and they know who is responsible for the vandalization of pipelines. They also know who is responsible for this illegal oil trade. So using them to secure the facilities is a welcome development. Although I have not gotten any information if any of the key players in River State are involved. Government on Polo is in Delta State. So probably they are probably doing this in Delta State as a case study, but it would be great if they extend it to Bayelsa, Rivers, Akwa Ibom, and other oil producing states as well, engaging the especially those we call the OS militant generals, because they have the influence, they have the capacity to stop this. My community in particular, let me say, some time ago, we were going through issues around sea piracy. People were attacking because you have to travel from Port Harcourt to my community by boat within 45 minutes. And, when people are traveling, you see a lot of, sea pirates attacking, those that are traveling. And the government could not address that issue. They sent a lot of gunboats, a lot of naval boats to secure the waterways. But believe me, they did not have the capacity to address it until the community came together to say they needed to set up a local vigilante force to stop it. And today, the waterways are quiet and we can travel very peacefully from Port Harcourt by boat to my community. So you can see that communities themselves have the capacity to resolve these issues. And looking at the amount of money you're calling, it may sound very big, but it's not, because carrying out projects within the riverine areas is very expensive. Building a house within riverine communities is more expensive than building a house in Port Harcourt or any other upland city. So they need to buy gun posts, they need to buy speed posts, they need to, settle, just as a way of stipend, settle chiefs and other key players within nearby communities to make sure that they get that local acceptance. After all, what we used to say that our communities are benefiting from this, oil business, if not for opportunities like this. So I will very much encourage this opportunity.
You spoke of unemployed youths going into bunkering and illegal refining of petroleum products as an alternative to generate revenue, since they are not gainfully employed. Let me ask you a question. Do you think it will be in the government's interest to decentralize crude oil refining and actually encourage these youths to refine, but with proper training and proper equipment? As a Niger Delta man, as someone from River State, you mentioned that the illegal bunkering is one of the contributing factors towards the black suit problem River State is currently facing. Do you think it would make sense if this refining is decentralized and smaller and medium scale players are also allowed to come into this business properly equipped, with all the necessary safety equipment and the necessary training? Do you think that's a solution to the country's current financial woes and oil shortage? Is it something you would like to see blossom in the future? Please, what are your thoughts?
Thank you for the question. First of all, as a potential government official and a law-abiding citizen, I am not in support of illegal bunkering or any illegal activity. But however, I think engaging those that are involved in this illegal bunkering activity is very key and critical to resolving the issue. And the federal government cannot claim ignorance, that they are not aware of the issues. They are aware. Some years ago, His Excellency, the Vice President of Nigeria, visited the Niger Delta, and there was a very strong commitment in series of stakeholders meetings that they are very proud that our youth have the technical capacity to refine petroleum products. However, they are not happy with the fact that they are following this illegal process. So there was a commitment that the federal government was going to initiate and make it easier for youths to have access to modular refineries and own the modular refineries themselves.
Oh, wow.
And pay taxes to the federal government. I am sure you've heard of the word modular refinery.
Oh, yes, I have.
But then, when the paperwork started, there were series of bureaucratic bottlenecks, and our indigenes and fellow Niger Deltans could not have access to these licenses. As the group general manager of NNPC, how many Ijoy youths, how many Ishekiri youths or Niger Delta youths have access, to owning modular refinery? Because they have made it so difficult for them to have access. In fact, when that commitment was made, there was a significant reduction in illegal refining because of the expectation that a lot of our young people will have access to these licenses to begin to establish local modular refineries. But then, I can confidently say that the process has not just been politicized, it has also been regionalized, because I cannot see any of our Niger Delta people owning these refineries. Neither do they also own licenses to establish these refineries. So we still have a long way to go. So it's not about going about destroying. Even if you look at it, the Nigerian Navy is also contributing to the black suit. And I'm going to explain it to you because they on the waterway, if they get possibly a boat carrying illegal products, they set it on fire. And when they set it on fire, it contributes to the black suit problem because the smoke just goes around. So even the security forces are not properly trained in the disposition of these products.
Wow.
So I am confidently saying that it is important for the federal government itself to be sincere in not just managing the relationships with Niger Deltans and the use of the Niger Delta in addressing this problem, but then they should also be sincere and train their security forces in the management of these relationships and also in the management of the products when they are able to seize them in our waterways. Not just that, they should reduce the bureaucratic bottlenecks that enables our indigenes in having access to the licenses. And then there should be increased funding for capacity building, both within and outside the country. There should be, the CBN should be giving enough resources to make it open for our indigenes to have access to funding. Some of the Chinese companies that are coming here to build roads and railway stations and all that, they come with Chinese contractors. So if you cannot just say, oh, we are giving you licenses. No. Our people should be able to have access to adequate funding to establish these modular refineries. Their capacity should be built to market the products and manage the products as well as creating employment opportunities for themselves. And then with that, you begin to see that there will be a significant drop in the air pollution that we are having, not just in Port Harcourt, but its surrounding environments as well.
I absolutely love this guy. I like this guy. I like what I'm hearing. I like what I'm hearing. But I'm not going to say anything. I'm going to keep allowing him to talk. Maybe I can even like him a little more. Let us talk about the youths. You keep speaking about the youths. This is why I like you. I like to hear youths. As far as I'm concerned, I'm 46 years old. I don't know exactly how old you are, but I believe
I am 27 years old.
Oh, wow. You are a youth. You are a youth. I believe I'm already getting old. I believe I'm gradually leaving the youth department.
You are a youth. You are more of a youth, than so many people who are claiming to be youth.
But I'm so happy because I want a Nigeria for the future. I want to see things that look like future prospects. I love hearing things like modular refineries, engaging the youths, because until we start looking inwards and until we start prioritizing the upcoming generation as against the outgoing elder statesman generation, we will continue being in the doldrums. We will continue being inside the quagmire that we're in. Now, River State has I was looking at the statistics earlier on. That's why I told Tonto to give me 10 minutes so I could just familiarize myself with some of the figures from River State. The population of youth in River State is substantially more than the population of the older people. The question is, what are your plans for the youths? Immediate, the long-term plans, and how do you plan? You could just touch on a few things here and there to gainfully engage the youth. Cultism is another major problem that we hear of from Port Harcourt. Okay, we understand refining oil because you have no job. We don't understand why they're cultists and all that. So, how do you plan to address that menace, especially with the high numbers in River State? And what are your plans to gainfully engage the youths?
Um, First of all, if youths are gainfully employed, I don't think they will engage themselves in cultism
Mm,
because, one, I grew up in a very local area, in a slum.
mm,
So I know, while growing up, I saw a lot of these, you know, cultists, carry out their activities. And at that time, most of them were living within my surrounding. I knew them by name, and however, I saw that most of them didn't have, you know, jobs to sustain themselves, and as a result of that, they engage themselves in different kind of illegal activities. So one of the things that we are going to focus on is to make it easier for youths to have access to microcredits to strengthen small businesses. And you cannot, because this is government money, we must manage it with transparency and accountability. So you cannot have access to that process until you are properly registered with our social protection program. And like I have said to a couple of media organizations, that we are going to invest significantly in birth and death registration. And we are
mm.
also going to invest in ensuring that if you are an indigenous of River State, you register for the social protection program. So we are going to get your fingerprints, we are going to get your data, and that will enable us to have access to verifiable and credible data that both national and international community can rely on. And it will also enable us, because while registering, you are going to answer a number of questions around, your education, your level of education, employment, work experience, and if you also want to, have access to getting support from the state government. So, as a result of that, we'll have a first-hand understanding of the number of unemployed youths in the state. Now, let me also bring you back a bit. Most of the intervention programs that both federal government and state governments are carrying out are not addressing
Go ahead.
the not addressing the root causes of the problem. They don't understand what these youths are facing. And until you are able to issue a questionnaire, carry out a very careful analysis of what the issues are, and then come up with, a program that will enhance their capacity to have access, not just access to these loans, but also giving them the needed support to carry out the businesses that they need, you will not be able to address it in a sustainable manner. So some of the employment programs you're seeing are just surface dressing. If you ask some governors how many youths in your states are unemployed, they don't know, they don't have the figures. How
Hmm.
many small businesses have collapsed within the past 1 year as a result of lack of electricity, as a result of lack of resources to pay for their rent, or lack of money to pay for their rent, as a result of human resources, as a result of poor capacity in managing businesses. We don't have these figures, we don't have this data. And that is why most of the developed countries are far ahead of us. So until we go back, to the roots, to the drawing board, to have this data, to, address this issue, whatever intervention we are coming up with will just be seen as surface dressing. So if we are elected into power, my government will want to dwell in working with data, we want to have these numbers so that it will influence our planning. Our planning and our policies will be evidence-based. And I believe with that, we will not just resolve this employment challenge in a more sustainable manner. Even the government that will be coming on board to take over from us will have access to this data to learn so that they will be able to resolve these issues in future if it occurs. Then, one of the reasons why the developed countries work with data is because the students in the university should have access to this information online to learn so that as they grow up to take over the mantle of leadership, they will be able to know what worked in the past and what did not work in the past. And it will also help them to make informed decisions to address these challenges if they arise in future. So I think I and Tonto, we have the capacity to address the employment challenges in Rivers State.
All right. Governor Wike is the current governor of Rivers State. If you are privileged to take over the mantle of leadership from him, what do you consider worthy of maintaining, and what do you consider worthy to be done away with from the PDP-led government? Let me ask you that question.
There are a number of things Wike is doing that I have strong admiration for. There are also a couple of things that I do not like. I appreciate and recognize the fact that he's investing significantly on infrastructure, and that includes building of roads and building of bridges, building of university lecture halls and facilities and all that. And I would not say it's a new thing. The Rotimi Ameshi's government also invested in building healthcare facilities and upgrading some of these facilities to cottage hospitals, setting up and strengthening the state primary healthcare board, and so on. The Ameshi's government also invested as a result of, I have this information as a result of some of the research that my research team has carried out. They also invested in, making sure that citizens have access to housing. They invested in the monorail project, in as much as a lot of people say, oh, it's a white elephant project and all that. I think, rightfully, successful governments are supposed to, start from where their predecessors stopped. Because irrespective of the fact that, the projects that they embarked on are white elephant projects or not, we must be able to have value for money. And we must recognize that these funds, these monies, belong to the people of Rivers State. And so if we say we want to abandon that project, it is Rivers people that are losing. So whatever projects that Rotimi Amechi abandoned or Nyesom Wike could not complete at the end of this tenure, we will make sure that we come up with a strategic team to complete those projects. It is not as a result of our making, but I think it is our responsibility as a government that is coming in. We must have that obligation to complete these projects, even if we see that cost-effective approaches were not applied in giving out those projects or in the implementation of those projects. But for the fact that we must have value for money, and we recognize the fact that this is not Ameshi's money, this is not Nyesom Wike's money, we must complete those projects. So, in the first place, a lot of governments make mistakes. If you look at the Wike's administration now, they've abandoned the monorail project. They have abandoned the Rainbow City project from the Rotimi Ameshi's government. And that is because they lack the capacity to realize that the money that was spent on that project belongs to Rivers people and not them. So you must, as a government, you must recognize that the office that you are occupying is big beyond the hatred you feel for your predecessor until you realize that to take the right steps to complete this project. And that is exactly what is going on.
Thank you so much for that. Let's talk about women. Nigeria in general has women relegated to the background. Yes, I know that. Oh, wow. We're having some network challenges. Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now. So I was saying that in Nigeria, network is it's I don't know, I think it's from your side. I think my side is okay. Okay, Tonto.
Okay, is it better now?
We're having trouble loading this live video. Okay, Tonto is saying she's having trouble loading my video. Yes, it's better now. It's better now. Let me view from another account so I can make sure it's not my side that is having the issues. Just 1 second. Okay, it's better now. Let me from other. I can make sure it's not my side that is. Okay, sorry. Hold on 1 second. Okay, seems to be okay, even though it's not too clear. Side that is having the issues.
Okay.
All right. So go ahead. Yes. So.
Okay.
I was talking about women empowerment. What are your plans in that regard? Aside, of course, bringing Tonto Dikeh as part of your team, what are your plans?
Over the years, I have worked with women, and I know women have special needs. That includes access to economic empowerment programs. Most women are widows. Most of them are not also economically empowered. They don't also have the opportunities as men do. So for us, what we intend doing is to strengthen the Ministry of Women Affairs to strengthen the capacity of its officials to have access to sufficient data on the needs of reversed women. Like I said, we cannot work unless our policies are evidence-based.
Let me send you a code so you can bring it in. I'm live.
So we must work with data. So first of all, we must clearly understand the issues affecting women from having access to economic empowerment programs and their health challenges, and also the challenges, their social economic challenges within the communities and within the society. And that will inform the approach we are going to take. But building on previous experiences, I know there are so many reverse women that are hardworking, but they don't have the startup grant or the government support to create enabling environments for them to sustain their businesses. And we are going to work on that. We're also aware that, a lot of young girls tend to go into prostitution to sustain their families as a result of lack of employment. I mean, that it also contributes significantly to the spread of sexually transmitted diseases, and also resulting into unwanted pregnancies as well. We're also aware of the fact that unwanted pregnancies and unsafe abortions contributes to a significant proportion of maternal deaths, So what we need to do is to make informed decisions as a result of the findings of the research and, the baseline assessments that we will carry out. But that is why we also have, a woman as my deputy governorship running mate. She is going to spearhead this process to make sure that there is adequate investment in empowering and strengthening the capacity of our women to make sure that they take their rightful position in decision making relating to both economic and social activities of the state.
Okay, let me open up my line so a few people can reach out and ask you a few questions. So let me just invite a few people. Let one or two people ask you a few questions, and I'll continue with the questioning section or session. I beg your pardon. I'm very happy with the things I'm hearing, especially with regards to youths and women empowerment. All right, we have a gentleman here. Please introduce yourself and go ahead with your question.
Daddy Friends, it's nice to talk to you.
Nice to talk to you too.
I've heard everything, what the man has been saying. I'm not trying to be rude, whatever. I just want to make some points here. Since my dad was born, I've been hearing about Nigeria. It's going to be good. Nigeria is going to be good. Since I was born to, Nigeria is going to be good. Nigeria is going to be good. I'm so sorry to say, I don't want to hurt so many people that is here at the first. Like, I've been watching for a long time. I don't believe Nigeria can be good. We have a very, very, very bad leadership. And that was our problem. Me personally, I think everybody should go their separate ways. Are you getting me, Daddy Phrase?
I'm listening to you.
This too much talk, Nigeria is going to be good, Nigeria is going to be good. It's just bullshit. If nobody want to go their separate way, I think the youth, for my own opinion, I'm so sorry. I don't want to hurt anybody in Nigeria. I think it's better to start killing the politicians.
Hey. Calm down. You cannot incite. You have to be careful. I understand your point of view, but we cannot incite that kind of tension. And that's why I had to remove him. Guys, I'm sorry, but we want your opinions, we want your criticism.
It is rude, disrespectful, and unpatriotic to say Nigeria will never be.
Oops, wow.
We must have faith in Nigeria. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, clearly, I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Very clearly. Go ahead.
I, for one, I don't have the intention or the plan to live outside of Nigeria. So no matter how comfortable you are in any country, there can never, Daddy Freezer, I have traveled to over 35 countries. I know that there are so many Nigerians that are not doing well. The kind of pictures they portray on social media is different from what they really face. Some of them are in hotels, they've come to clean my rooms, and I know the first-hand experience they face in the country where they live in. So we must not, I must commend the fact that you were able to stop him. We must not encourage unpatriotic behaviors. We have only Nigeria, and we must do everything to the last drop of our blood to defend the existence of this country. And I thank you for that.
Thank you so much for your thoughts on that. Let me bring one more person and then we begin to round off. Okay. So I really enjoyed this session and I look forward to having more sessions with you in the future. Sadly, Tonto Dikeh could not be here for one reason or the other. Okay, we've got a gentleman here. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, first of all, my name is Abdul Karim. I disagree with the guy that said Nigeria should split. I'm from Edo State. I think a lot of people don't understand the power of numbers. A lot of people don't understand the power of quantity. Now, Europe couldn't do what they are supposed to do to Russia because of how powerful Russia is. Russia could overpower Ukraine because of its numbers, its quantity. China could do to what it's doing to Taiwan because of how, their their population, how big China is. The same thing to India. So I don't think breaking up Nigeria is the best thing. We need everybody. We need both the Hausas, the Yoruba, the Igbos. We will be stronger. Like we'll be more powerful together than breaking Nigeria into pieces. That is not to our interest. Now, pertaining what this guy was talking about, giving, helping people to get loan, building modular refinery. It is not as easy as he is saying it. Now, you can't just give loan to people. You can't just give loan to people. Now, in one of the best things that happens to Nigeria is NIN, which is National Identity Number. If Nigerian government understand the power of that thing, Nigeria will be a better place. America could give loan to its citizen grants because of the social security number. Now, with your social security number, you could build your credibility. People started building credibility by just credit card. You get a credit card. How you utilize your credit card goes a long way. And then there's what is called credit score. Sometimes those are the things that determine the amount of loan you get, or if you will even get the loan or not. I expect the guy to talk more about, the NIN. You can't just give loan to people because the person say I can build a refinery. It doesn't work that way. Of course, you want to help your people, but you will waste those resources. So that's just my own opinion. Nigeria shouldn't break. We need everybody.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate your contribution. Thank you so much for that. Let me bring Shoshei on. Thank you, brother. That was nice of you.
Right.
I'm still trying to bring him back.
And then one thing before you take me off.
Yes, sir.
You see, Europe has been trying to cut off from Russia oil, Russia gas. Do you know, I've been watching the news. I've never heard Nigeria with all the gas and oil we have. You understand? When they said, oh, we want to get gas from this person, they don't mention Nigeria. Like, why? I think everybody that wants to come to power right now should be looking into that. And one of the major reasons is because Nigeria is not reliable. Nigeria is not a reliable supplier. And that is the reason nobody wants to do business with Nigeria. A lot of people think it's because we're Africa. That's not true. Like the issue you have with Niger Delta militant bombing pipeline and stuff like that, those things affect the country image.
All right. One more question, and then let me hand over to our governorship aspirant. Okay, so
Candidate.
our governorship candidate, yes, candidate. Sorry for that. So, my dear brother, Shei, over to you.
Well, Tonto, God bless you for your contribution. My brother, God bless you for believing in Nigeria. One thing I will continue to say is all these countries we are making mention to, have we gone ahead, the younger generations, have you read their story? Do you know where they are coming from? Do you know how they got to where they are today? We are not doing bad in Nigeria. Can it be better? Absolutely, yes. Do we have challenges? Yes. But as a child of history, I know it is inside challenges that we can make progress. Nigeria is a country. I always argue with people and I say, Nigeria is the easiest country to govern in the whole world. We are the most loyal people. Once you have a good leader, Nigerians will follow you. Nigerians will follow you. Once you're a good leader and they believe in you, everybody will be at your back. So I think in as much as even America is still saying they are so divided within themselves. So Nigeria is not immune to what is happening all over the world. But how do we go better? By having a good leader. You talk of gas, you talk of everything. My dear brother, all the resources we still have in Nigeria are there. Everything is still there, untapped. Now we've not touched. Is it gold? Is it precious stones? Is it the gas you've mentioned? Is it crude or bitumen? That we've not even tapped into. So these are the things that made me believe that Nigeria will be great again. If what some people have stole in Nigeria, they steal it from other countries, their economy will collapse. But despite that, look at how they have been stealing. Despite that, we are not yet collapsed. So it shows that we have great potentials. All we are just praying for is good leadership. If I am shouting about a particular candidate, I'm not God. I cannot read his mind. I'm only reading his actions. And that is why I'm looking at his actions and I'm looking at it, okay, if he, because of what he has thought about, what I have think about, when somebody has been fighting for something for over 23 years and it's not happening now, and they blocked him that time, and everybody is now saying, okay, it's that thing that we should do now. So why would I want to support such people? So these are my own reasons. I believe in Nigeria. I love Nigeria. As I am in America, I used to tell people I am a second-class citizen. No matter what. Let me carry the blue. I'm still using my Nigerian passport. I'm not yet a citizen of America. But let me get the blue passport safe. There are places I cannot attain to. There are places I can never attain to. I cannot attain to be a president of America. Nobody's going to give it to me. I was not born here.
Do you know why? Do you know why you can't be the president of America? I think that was the best decision America ever make in their lives. Now, if you're not born when you're born in a place, you get so attached to that place. You can hear what you're talking about Nigerian passport.
All right, guys. Let me allow
When you become a president of America,
our guests to answer the questions you've asked. Thank you so much for joining us live, Kareem. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. And also a big appreciation goes to Shei. Shei, thank you so much. So finally, what are your thoughts, sir?
I would like to say, first of all, the first person that spoke, asked a question or possibly making an observation, but the other two were making comments, so they were making contributions. For the first person, if maybe he did not attend or he did not join this program on time, social protection, social security, they are almost the same thing. And I did mention that we want to invest significantly in birth and death registration. And how do you invest on that? You must make sure that people have access to social protection numbers. And, from childbirth. And those that are already born will also have access to these numbers. Hence, the need for registration. But then we are also very careful of the fact that people have different numbers. There is name, there is BVN. There are so many duplicative numbers. But if we are going to have access to social protection numbers, it must be that is going to be there for the purpose of case study, hoping that the federal government will see our intervention as a best practice and begin to scale up to other states. And then we will be able to harmonize the data that we are having, including sensitive data as well as fingerprints and all that. That will help us to have access to security information for every citizen, so that with the DNA of a person, you will be able to go to a crime scene and know who committed the crime. And people should be able to go to a database to know, with their DNA, to know who their relatives are that they are not aware of. Maybe their father is dead and all that. This data is there in America. You can just be born, and if you go to a DNA data bank, you'll be able to know if your father have children in another state. And you'll be able to contact them because you have access to their contact information. So, talking about loans, people should rightfully have access to loans and credits, because it is not everybody that is born with the opportunity of, coming from a family with, silver spoon and all that. And not just having access to microcredits to strengthen your business, you should be able to have access to loans to go to school. The reason why we are going to have a database for social protection is from going to school to having a job to having loans, you will be able to have access to a portal. And if you are unable to pay for these loans, because you are part of that portal, you will not be able to have access to future loans. That is why we must make sure that our portal is credible, so that people will be encouraged to pay back their loans in order for more people to have access to the loans to strengthen their businesses. So I have studied development a lot, and you cannot develop a country or a community without having access to credible data and information. So the first approach you must take is to have a baseline assessment to understand why the problem is existing in the first place. Who is responsible for that problem? And then you find out if there has been any previous intervention to address that problem, and why it worked and why it did not work. That will help you make informed decision on whether you want to follow the same approach when you are in that issue. So we have to know how. What I expect a lot of young people to do, believe me that the level of toxicity and bitterness I see on social media is too high. A lot of young people have lost faith in Nigeria, and then they become very toxic. Anybody that comes up with a fantastic idea, instead of questioning it, they just criticize it. So there is this blanket approach to every innovative ideas. And if we start to see every idea as bad or manipulative or confusing, then it means our problems will persist. So people should be given the opportunity to come up with innovative approaches to address the challenges that we as young people will face, until we realize the fact that we are the solution to our problems. We will continue to remain where we are. We will continue to want to travel to other countries. But then we are only a tenant in those countries. It is difficult unless you want to go through a manipulative process to get a passport, marry a foreign wife and all that. But then, like one of the speakers said, you are emotionally attached to the country where you were born and where you grew up in. So there is that need for you to come back home. So you see that Nigeria is the only country we have. And until we as young people come together to to address this issue. Elders cannot address it. They have tried for over 60 years or almost 60 years. They've not been able to. Rather, there has been repeated divisions and all kind of manipulations to divide us. The north from the south, the southeast. People want to separate. I'm an Ijaw man. We believe in one Nigeria. All we are talking about is people should be given the opportunity to also, manage their resources and pay taxes. So resource control is not a bad thing after all. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That was our guest, Mr. Tonte Ibraye. Did I get it? Okay. Beautiful talking to you. I love your patriotism. I love the fact that you're taking the youth into consideration, taking women into consideration, taking Nigerian resources into consideration, ready to work with what you have on ground, and all these are positives if you ask my opinion. However, in a final note, these are the people who are going to vote. In 2 minutes, address them. Your parting words.
I and Tonte are going to. We've received a number of requests from our friends to do crowdfunding. Most of the people that are contesting elections today, we don't even question where the money is coming from. Unlike the developed countries where they do fundraising and all that, we are looking at some of the proposals that our friends are coming together, to share, and we'll be able to approve some. So we cannot do this on our own, right? And so crowdfunding is an opportunity for people to say, oh, I have 500 naira, I have 1,000 naira. If you have 1,000 naira from 1 million persons, it's 1 billion naira. So we are not ignoring the fact that young people, youth, and the general population can contribute to the success of our campaign. If you look at the Obama campaign, people donated $5. So we are not ignoring this little amount of resources. That's why if you're from Rivers State, if you're from Nigeria, whatever fundraising platform we approve, please take advantage of it. Bring 1,000 naira, bring 500 naira. We are going to share our campaign strategy and our plan and our budget. And at the end, we'll be able to also share a statement of account to make sure that people who invested in our campaign have a first-hand understanding of how the money is spent. Until you contribute to a campaign, you will not be able to own the process of that governance structure. So please, when you see that opportunity, take advantage of it, and we will appreciate your investment. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Tonte Ibraye. 37-year-old. He's a youth. He understands the river. He from the time he has been speaking, you could tell how familiar he is with the terrain of River State. This is not somebody abroad that says, hey, I want to be governor. He understands the challenges, the unique challenges, the peculiar challenges of the Niger Delta as a whole and of River State as a region. I enjoyed this conversation. Not many people were here. If Tonto were here, should have brought the crowd. So I'm angry with Tonto for not being here to bring the crowd. But crowd aside, he has spoken well. He has spoken wisdom. And if I were a River State indigene, I would definitely consider voting for him. But like I said, it's up to you. I will never coerce or ask you to vote for anybody. Make up your mind. But remember, vote wisely. Voting is your choice. Voting is your choice. Wise voting is your future. Thank you so much, Mr. Tonte Ibraye. Do take care of yourself. I look forward to having you here, and I wish you success with the fundraiser.
Thank you very much. I am very excited to be part of this show, and I look forward to being part of this show in the near future. I appreciate your acceptance.
Thank you so much, everyone. So look forward to seeing you again later when I come back live. Thank you. Take care, and God bless.
Thank you.